All right, YouTube, we're here with the AT-6 1.5 meter by Horizon Hobby. And I just wanted to show you guys a real quick mechanical trim adjustment that needs to be made. So my camera woman is going to come over and show you what I'm looking at here. As you can see, we've got this trim is at plus 74, okay? So you can see the elevator moves up and down, okay? So what I need to do is I need to basically trim that back to neutral. We've only got 6 clicks over on the rudder, and we only have 16 clicks on the aileron. So it's not even really, or 16 clicks, I think it's 8 clicks. It's like 2 per click. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna basically trim this back to center, and I'm just gonna pay attention to where it is. Remembering that plus 74 is what I wanna get to. Okay, so we're at center now. Now I'm gonna trim it back up. Okay, so now I'm just finding a reference point on this tail, and I'm noticing it's really hard to tell exactly where it is, okay? So I'm actually gonna hold my finger on it this time, and I'm gonna move it. Okay, so as you can see, it's barely any adjustment, okay? So I'm gonna go back to the 74, and then I'm gonna go ahead and slide this rubber off. Then just get your fingernail in there and pop out the little control horn adapter. And then basically, you'll notice when I trim this, you can actually watch this move too. Okay? So basically, I need to pull it back to make my adjustment, okay? So now I'll just demonstrate that again. Can you show them like a really close-up shot of this?
Yeah, make them on this side.
So, well, it needs to be like probably over here. All right, so right there, guys. So I'm gonna adjust the trim to show you back to 74. There's 74, okay? So that's where I want it to be with the trim neutral. Okay, so I'm actually gonna screw this in. There's 1, 2, and 3 turns, okay? Maybe we'll go 4, 1 for good measure. Okay, so the idea is you don't have to have this exactly perfect on your center of your bar here, but if you're not exactly in the center, you want to be close to the center, because eventually what happens is your AS3X and your safe will kind of freak out, because the neutral home position of the sticks, it's important to maintain as close to the center so that the AS3X can operate, because otherwise it thinks you're giving it input. For instance, like pulling back on the stick, which is going to give you an elevator condition change. So I'm going to go back in. It was in the outside hole, right? I don't remember. It was on the outside. I think it was on the outside hole. We can review the footage. But for now, I just wanted to show you how easy it is to do the mechanical trim on this plane compared to like the timber, for instance. You had to actually do that inside on the servo. But just to give you another look inside of here, if you did want to make your mechanical trim adjustment, you can technically still do some adjustment, but you're only going to be allowed to move it so much, and you're going to have a pretty drastic move if you unscrew this and you lift it and you move it 1 key over. Okay, so just keeping in mind, you're probably going to be better off to turn the clevis adapter. So with that being done, let's go ahead and show you a flight.
Okay.
All right, guys, so I want to also show you 2 other things real quick before we take off. Throttle cut's on. What we've got here is we made some adjustments to the flap system. I took this all the way down to -100, 20% for elevator correction, 12% for elevator correction, and I left that at 25. I believe that was the way it was stock. So still 2-second deployment. And then I made 1 mix, and that's to deal with the throttle management. There was almost like a pull up, like the plane wanted to pull up when I would give it full throttle. So I did a 4% linear throttle to elevator adjustment, but only on that side, okay? So basically that really helped to settle it down. So when I'm giving it full throttle, it doesn't lift on me now, okay? So we'll go ahead and take off now toward the stop sign. So if you had unlimited room, you could really drag out that takeoff. And that's the thing, is somebody was saying it didn't look like it was flying very scale. And it looks like I had to do about 5 or 6 clicks of trim to get that thing level. 5 or 6 clicks is nothing. That's totally acceptable. Man, that thing looks good up there, doesn't it? And that looks scale, guys. I hate to break it to you. Okay, getting into the speed a little bit so I can do this. Right like that. And that thing looks good. Here's some full throttle action for you. It'll just about hammerhead and out of the throttle. And let it come down right at us here. Got a little bit too much. Need a little bit more down elevator there. You kind of let it come down to the ground and you'll see if it wants to correct wrong. Looks really good. Wonder how it's going to film against that blue sky. Sorry about the sun, everybody, i.e. the camera person. This thing has just tons of power, and it just keeps giving. I love it. I wish the flight times were a little bit longer, though. That's honestly my only complaint with this plane. 4 minutes is just weak. But you can get into the power, and you can climb right out of whatever you were doing. That's why I like it so much. So I think I'm going to go ahead and try to take a landing. But I think I'm going to land toward us, if that's all right with you.
Okay.
Watch the sun here. The clouds are going right in front of it, so I'm going to go ahead and plop my sunglasses down. Okay, takeoff flaps. Sorry about the sun, folks. Full landing flaps. Show you how it slows down. Gear popping out for me. Into the throttle about 20%. Got just a little teeny bit of tail headwind here. And as you can see, the pilot-induced oscillation was really bad, and then a horrible ground loop. So I think what we'll do, see that, guys? It wants to ground loop just instantaneously, and it's super frustrating. So I think what's going on is that there's just an inherent weakness in that tail dragger. Maybe it gives a little bit. We're going to try one more takeoff. See that, guys? It wants to really get wonky on us at the end of the takeoff sequence there. All right, I can't resist the pass here. Here we go. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
And here we go. Come right back. Okay, we're going to take a landing again. We're going to try to get a better landing this time. Takeoff flaps are coming out, and the gear are down, and full landing flaps. We're clear. I'm going to take a landing here. Trying to keep the tail wheel up this time. And watch, as soon as we hit that ground, it's going to want to, yep, there it goes, ground looping on us. So I can tell you right now, if you keep the tail wheel up, you'll be okay. But as soon as you put that tail wheel down, it's almost like it bangs into the ground and it deflects a little bit. So all I can say is, if that's the only problem this plane has, I've had worse problems. But you can see that there's quite a little bit of play there, and I'm almost certain that that's where our problem's coming from. So maybe in due time I'll come up with a bushing system or something that will hold that wheel a little bit tighter and really help with that. In fact, I might just try to bend it a little bit. All right, we're gonna plop a new battery in there and see if that fixed it.
Yep.
All right, guys, so we're gonna taxi a little bit and just see how much better the ground handling is with that little teeny modification. And we're talking about like a 3-second modification. Okay, we're good with them, so.
Mm-hmm.
Those stout little landing gear, you know, and the bitey tires definitely leave a little something to be desired on takeoff. But this thing looks so good in the air. What do you think, hon?
Yeah, it's cool. It's a lot faster than I thought it was going to be.
Oh yeah, and then the upside down flight performance is great, but I don't really care about upside down flight performance.
We know.
I'm gonna grab some sunglasses here. Sorry, hun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, full landing flaps. Let's do a slow pass for the people. That's why I love this plane,
That was
guys.
good.
You can really get it in the air quick. You got the power right when you need it. You don't have to wait around. It doesn't have to spool up or anything. Okay, so I'm gonna basically go into a holding pattern here. All right, so takeoff flaps are deployed. Landing gear coming down, going into a final. We got a little bit of nose wind with us right now. We're gonna see if we can get a ground loop on this landing. I didn't have the ground loop, but it's just I'm trying to stall it for a low rollout because it just doesn't roll super straight, guys. Okay, we're gonna try this again. Dealing with the P factor is very challenging on this plane. I didn't think it would be at all. And I had somebody say, oh, well, would SAFE solve that? No, absolutely not, unfortunately. SAFE does not make for a beautiful landing. It just kind of helps keep you level. Okay, we got a minute 25 on our 4-minute timer here. We're gonna wait for the feds to go by. Uh-oh.
Lucy's going to our house.
Uh-oh, they might be stopping for us. Nope, they're
Nope.
not. You never know when they might stop and drop off a new airplane. Not today.
Yeah, they did.
Oh, that's right, they did. It was DHL, not the feds.
That's true.
Those are the International Agency of Deliveries. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and put it down. Just making sure we're clear here. Sorry about the sun there, camera woman. Okay, takeoff flaps, landing flaps. And into about 30% power, just kind of getting it locked in, keeping it nice and level. No SAFE, obviously. And then waiting for the stall. Pushing that nose down. Guys, I'm telling you, I've flown a lot of these warbirds and I can walk them all the way down the street on 2 wheels, but this one just, I'm having trouble finding the fine line, but I'll tell you what, it flies great. It's really not hard to land, especially if you're doing a grass strip or something that's just, you know, smooth as glass. But I'll tell you what, bending that tail wheel down has made a big improvement. It's not doing the ground loops. I think we got one more in it. Let's do one more and see if we can't get it gorgeous. Okay, here we go. I'm actually going to turn around and I'm going to take off into the wind, which is what smart people do.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Get that wheel off the ground and then into the power. And here we go. We're going to go around and just immediately get into a final. Sorry, I've got the wings turned so you can barely see it, hon. Getting into final, takeoff flaps engaged. Gear coming down. And we've got full landing flaps deployed. Evidently caught a breeze there. Out of the throttle. Horrible pilot-induced oscillation as usual. And guys, I don't want to say that's the best that you can get because it's not. But I think it might be the best that you're going to get from me tonight. So without further ado, thanks for watching, guys. This thing it's a beauty. I think we got it flying great. I just got to figure out why these things are just, I don't know if they're just really especially squishy. They're definitely like a soft foam. And I think most of the tires of late have been a harder foam. And normally I think this would be good, but it's just really making this thing bounce like crazy. And maybe with practice that'll be resolved, but everything feels like it's intact. The other thing I wanted to show you, I regret to inform you that with those shorter landing gear, when you do have a ground loop, you're likely to scrape the wingtips. So you may want to take and just put a little CA over this, unless you have a good baby blue touch-up color that you'd like to use. But for me, I'm probably going to make some strike pads out of clear plastic. Like we actually did that on the Spitfire 1.2. And so we'll touch up the paint and then we'll do some strike plates there, and obviously get some more practice in, and I think we'll be able to grease a landing. But thanks guys for watching. I could not resist a beautiful video. I mean, it's so gorgeous tonight, and we're glad you came back. Check the links in the description below. Buy your very own, help support the channel. Appreciate you watching. Come back, be part of this.